Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I want to show you in a video the fisherman rib, and this is a scarf that I started, and the fisherman rib is a beautiful stitch. I have to say I've seen it knitted in so many ways and I wasn't sure if the one I had was the fisherman stitch, because I've always known it as just a simple one row stitch, but I've seen many people do different things on maybe 2 rows repeat or something like that. I only have a 1 row repeat for my fisherman, and it looks exactly the same. And as you can see, is a ribbing. It looks, when you look at it, when you give it a first look, it looks like a 1 by 1 rib, but when you stretch it a little bit, you see that it's got a different texture. It's a little bit more 3-dimensional, as you can see. It's very stretchy. Look how stretchy it is. And it's very soft and squishy. So it's thick, but squishy. There it is. I don't know if it shows on camera, but I have it here on 3.5 millimeter needles, and I'm working with my Hayfield yarn that I've knitted another scarf with this yarn in seed stitch, and I'm sure you've seen my video. It was my previous video, or 2 videos ago or something like that. But I wanted to show you how to work it. And I also wanted to show you how I knit fast, because I've done a lot of research, because many people ask me, why do you knit through the back loop? Why do you purl differently? Why your work looks the same as the English knitting, but you knit differently? And I wanted to show you how I do that, because so many people ask me, and I think pretty much every video I make, people will ask me, why do you knit through the back loop? I'm confused. Or why do you purl that way? I'm confused. So maybe this video will explain and will show you a bit more. But because of the way I knit, this fisherman rib is very, very easy. It's 1 row repeats. You just keep on going, and it makes this beautiful scarf which looks the same on both sides. Very stretchy, very warm, very squishy, and yeah, I like it. So I have here very chunky yarn, because I figured it shows better on camera, and maybe I should take this white background off so you can see better. Yeah, that shows better, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to show you how I cast on, long tail cast on. I'm going to show you how I do my knits, how I do my purls, and how I knit the fisherman rib. And yeah, I hope this video is helpful. So I'm going to leave a longish tail, and I'm going to use these chunky needles again. And I just finished my shimo cardigan with this yarn, and this is what I have left over, nearly 1 skein, which I think is amazing. I think I'm going to make a hair band or like an ear cover from it, but I want to use it just a little bit to show you with chunky yarn my fisherman rib. So I'm going to leave a long tail cast on. I'm going to leave a long tail to do the long tail cast on, and then I hold my yarn like this. This is the tail, this is the working yarn. I'm going to put my finger through, twist, then put my thumb through as well, and come to the tail and pull it through. That's my slip knot. So if you pull on the tail, you can adjust it, or you can just pull it out like that. So I hold the yarn like this, put my needle, put my finger through and my thumb, and pick up the tail and pull on it. Then I put my needle through that slip knot and pull on the tail to adjust it. And I wrap the yarn around my finger like I usually do to keep tension for the yarn, and with my thumb I go underneath the tail with the needle, go through, pick up the working yarn and pull it through like that. So under with the thumb, in with the needle, grab your yarn, pull it through and pull on the tail. Under with the thumb, in with the needle, pick the working yarn, pull it through. So let's do a few stitches. By the way, for the fisherman rib, you need to cast on a multiple of 2. So I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, let's do 16. All right. So now I'm going to turn my work, and to start my fisherman rib, I'm going to do a row of just simple knits and purls. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. And I'm going to show you how I do my purls. So I'm going to knit 1 through the back loop, obviously, the way I usually do it. Bring the yarn forward and purl 1. And this is how I purl. I put the needle through and pull through the working yarn. Then I do a knit, yarn in the front, and do a purl. Knit, yarn in the front, and do a purl. Continue that to the end. So this is the setup row, and you always start with just simple knits and purls for the setup row of the fisherman rib. Okay, and end up with a purl. Then we're on the right side, and we're going to start the row that we're going to repeat until the end of our project or whatever we do. We always start with slip 1, so I just go in here and I slip the first stitch. Then I bring the yarn in the front because I have a purl stitch, so I'm going to purl it. Then for the knit stitch, I'm going to stretch it a little bit and go under the stitch, so in the row below, in there. Can you see? I'm just going to go in there and knit it. So knit 1 below, yarn in front to purl 1, knit 1 below, purl 1, knit 1 below, purl 1, knit 1 below, and continue doing this. And as you can see, because of the way I purl, my knit stitches are untwisted. As you can see, they're untwisted. If I was doing an English purl, my knit stitch would be like this, and then it's a lot harder to find that stitch below to go in and knit it. But because of the way my knits are, it's easier to see the stitch below to knit it. Go in the stitch below and knit it, and purl the last stitch. Okay, then we're going to turn our work, and we're going to do the same thing that we did before. So I'm going to slip the first stitch, bring the yarn forward and purl it. And I want to try to purl, let's try to purl English style, and I'll show you the difference of the English purl and my speedy continental. So to do an English purl, you go in, wrap the yarn around and pull it through. Okay, then you have knit 1 below, then you have purl 1, knit one below. See how slow I am. Bring the yarn forward to purl one. Oops. Knit one below. Bring the yarn forward to purl one. Can you see how complicated it is? For me, maybe it's not for you. Oops. Yarn in the back. See, I forget all that. Yarn in the front to purl one. Oops. Yarn in the back to knit one. Yarn in the front to purl one. This is it. I'm not doing another row of this. It's too slow. Oh, yarn in the back. Otherwise you end up with a yarn over in between all your stitches, which is bad. Yarn in the front. Oops. To purl one. Yarn in the back. Knit one. Yarn in the front to purl one. All right, let's turn our work and see what we have here. Okay, so I'm back to my usual, and I'll show you how I do that. So the first stitch is slip one, bring the yarn forward to purl one, and this is how I purl. I don't purl like this. Did you see? So this is how a English or continental purls. Put the yarn in and wrap the yarn around like this and then pull it through. No, I don't do that. Let's do a knit one below. So the way I do it is just go in and just grab the working yarn and pull through. That's it. Knit one below. Yarn front, purl one, knit one below, yarn in front, purl one, and then my stitches will be untwisted on the other side. Oh, see, I told you I've done a yarn over. And it's a lot easier to knit one below if you do that. Oh, look how many yarn overs I've done. This is ridiculous. If my stitches are untwisted, it's so much easier to see the knit one below. So slip one, purl one, oops, knit one below. Can you see how easy it is to see it? Purl one, knit one below, purl one, knit one below. Purl one, knit one below, purl one, knit one below. Oh. And as you can see, the work is already starting to form and the knit stitches are popping up. And then in between you will see this beautiful texture. So I'm going to put this on time lapse and do a few more rows so you can see the texture. Alright, so I've knitted a few more rows and now you can see a bit better the texture, and it's so squishy. Look, when you look at the top, it's so squishy. And it's so nice. I love this stitch. It's nice for a hat, would be very nice for a chunky hat to have it like this. For the ribbing or for the whole hat, you can make it into the fisherman rib, and it stretches that way. but it stretches more this way. It's just beautiful. And as you can see, it looks the same on both sides in between. So there it is, my 1 row fisherman ribbing speedy way. And let me know if you give it a go to knit and purl the way I do through the back of the stitch, and let me know if it's helpful. And also, if you're interested, I could do a series of how should I call it, speed knitting, or Eastern European speed knitting, and we could go back to the basics, cast on all the knits, all the purls, and continue from there. And hopefully some of you that are interested in learning to knit continental speed, then these videos would be helpful. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.